Hey there, my Hyrule adventurers and Triforce seekers. Today we're diving deep into the pixelated world of a game that turned the gaming industry on its head. Yes, we're talking about The Legend of Zelda. Strap in because we're about to unravel the mystery of how a simple cartridge managed to captivate the world, weaving a tale of swords, sorcery, and secrets that's as rich today as it was back in the 80s. Ever wonder what makes this game a timeless treasure, or why every time you hear that classic theme tune, you get a rush of nostalgic goosebumps? Well, keep your boomerangs ready, because we're going on an epic quest to find out just that.
I think you've got this backwards. See, I'm the one who did all the exciting stuff that would be considered legendary. Yeah, it'll be the Legend of Link that everyone talks about.
Link? I don't think so, elf guy. Nope, this legend's all about Zelda.
I mean, yeah, you dressed up like an Orlando Bloom ninja for a while, I guess.
Now imagine this. It's the early 1980s, and a young game developer named Shigeru Miyamoto is walking through the lush, expansive forest and mysterious caves near his home in rural Japan. This sense of exploration and discovery he experienced as a child would later be the spark that ignited the creation of The Legend of Zelda. But it wasn't about creating a game. Miyamoto wanted to translate that thrill of uncovering secrets and embarking on adventures into a digital form that everyone could experience. This is how the concept of an expansive, open-world game that players could explore in multiple ways came into being. Development of The Legend of Zelda was a daring venture, especially considering the technical limitations of the Nintendo Entertainment System at the time. The game's development coincided with that of Super Mario Bros., and interestingly, both games were developed by largely the same team. While Super Mario Bros. Was designed to be straightforward and linear, Zelda was the polar opposite, featuring a sprawling, non-linear world. This was revolutionary, as it defied the common level-by-level progression of games at that time. The team used a top-down view to maximize the visible area of the game world, a technical workaround that became one of the game's defining features. The cartridge itself was next level because it was one of the first console games to include an internal battery for saving progress. Before this, games either had to be completed in a single setting or use passwords. Miyamoto and his team pushed for this because they wanted to respect the player's time and allow for a deeper, more immersive experience. This feature alone significantly influenced the future of game design forever. However, The Legend of Zelda was also a risk. There was concern that players might be confused or overwhelmed by such an open-ended game without clear, direct goals. In fact, the game included a physical map and manual, which were practically essential for navigating its complex world. An unusual practice that could have backfired, but instead set a standard for games requiring external player resources. Now diving into the heart of The Legend of Zelda, we encounter a story and world as enchanted as the gameplay itself. Set in the mythical land of Hyrule, the game unfolds around Link, a courageous young hero tasked with rescuing Princess Zelda from the evil clutches of the villain Ganon. But it's not just a simple rescue mission. Link must collect the scattered pieces of the Triforce, a powerful artifact that grants the wishes of its holder, to thwart Ganon's dark ambitions. What makes this plot particularly compelling is its foundation in mythology and fairy tales, yet it's presented in a way that felt completely fresh in the gaming world of the 1980s. Miyamoto, inspired by his love for exploring nature, fantasy novels, and Hollywood adventures, crafted a narrative that allowed players to become the hero in their own sprawling epic. Each character, from the wise old man who first hands Link his sword to the various merchants, fairies, and monsters, is designed to feel like a part of a living, breathing world, each with their own role in Link's journey. The characters of Zelda are not just pixels on the screen. They are inhabitants of a carefully crafted world that players became genuinely invested in. Princess Zelda is unlike many damsels of distress from that era, as Miyamoto wanted his princess to have a sense of importance and history, resonating with the game's theme of legendary heroes and ancient battles. And speaking of battles, when you first step into the world of Hyrule, it's not just the scenery that captures your imagination. It's the revolutionary gameplay mechanics that truly changed gaming forever. Unlike the linear paths of many earlier games, Zelda offers a sprawling, open world ripe for exploration, filled with puzzles, dungeons, and secrets. This was one of the first games to employ a non-linear approach, allowing players the freedom to tackle challenges in almost any order they choose. At its core, Zelda's gameplay is about exploration and discovery. Each screen of the game brings new challenges and opportunities to interact with the world. You could spend hours just wandering through the forests, stumbling upon hidden caves, or battling wandering monsters. The game doesn't hold your hand. Instead, it trusts the players to figure things out on their own, rewarding curiosity and cleverness. And speaking of rewards, if you're enjoying this deep dive into the pixelated past of Hyrule, why not hit that like button and subscribe? It's easier than finding the second piece of the Triforce in the Death Mountain maze, and I promise, no Octoroks or Moblins will jump out at you when you do. Now back to Zelda, where the combat is real-time and requires not just quick reflexes, but strategic thinking. Players must manage their inventory of items, which includes bombs, boomerangs, and arrows, using each appropriately to solve puzzles and defeat enemies. This introduced a level of strategy that was uncommon in games from the 80s, where gameplay often relied on more quick movements and less on tactical planning. Additionally, the game incorporates a system of upgrades and progression that feels rewarding. As players explore dungeons and defeat bosses, they acquire better equipment, such as a magical sword or the silver arrow, which allows for them to access previously unreachable areas and challenges. This sense of progression is crucial in maintaining the player's engagement and interests, encouraging them to explore deeper into the world Miyamoto and his team created. The influence of the Legend of Zelda's gameplay mechanics can be seen in countless games that followed, setting a precedence for how action, exploration, and puzzle solving can be blended to create a compelling, immersive experience. So when The Legend of Zelda was released in 1986, it didn't just arrive, it exploded onto the scene with the force of a bomb flower, reshaping the gaming landscape forever. Its initial launch in Japan was met with enthusiasm, but it was the game's introduction to the North American market that really showcased its impact. Sales figures for The Legend of Zelda are a testament to its success and enduring appeal. It sold over 6.5 million copies worldwide, making it one of the best-selling NES games of all time. This commercial success was crucial not only for Nintendo's finances, but also for establishing Zelda as a flagship franchise, one that would receive numerous sequels and spin-offs in the years to come. But Zelda's impact extended beyond just numbers. It influenced a generation of game developers and players alike, setting new standards for what a video game could be. Its open-world design inspired titles like The Elder Scrolls and World of Warcraft, which sought to emulate Zelda's sense of freedom and adventure on a much grander scale. The game's intricate puzzles and epic storylines set a benchmark for narrative depth in video games, proving that they could be about more than just jumping and shooting. Culturally, Zelda has permeated every corner of the globe and every form of media, from comic books and animated series to fan-made art and music. Its influence is ubiquitous. The game's iconic characters, items, and music have become cultural icons, recognizable even to those who have never held a controller. The main theme music, composed by Koji Kondo, is instantly recognizable, stirring feelings of adventure and nostalgia with just a few notes. At the end of the day, the release of this game also marked a pivotal moment in video game history, demonstrating the potential of video games as a medium for storytelling. Now, in the realm of Hyrule, not all treasures are guarded by monsters. Some are hidden in plain sight as Easter eggs and trivia for the keen-eyed adventurer. But one of the lesser-known facts about the game is its origin story related to the name Zelda. It's named after Zelda Fitzgerald, the famous and flamboyant wife of American author F. Scott Fitzgerald. Shigeru Miyamoto thought her name sounded pleasant and significant, fitting perfectly with the princess's pivotal role in the game. And there you have it, folks. From battery-powered options to the wife of a famous author, The Legend of Zelda has given us more layers than an onion in a pixie stew. Now, as we close the book in the chapter of video game history, because let's face it, all good things must come to an end, just like your last health heart in a boss fight. I hope you've equipped enough knowledge to appreciate the true legend behind Zelda. Game over for now. If you enjoyed exploring the halls of The Legend of Zelda, click this video here to see more from the Retro Reload. And as always, thank you for watching.